welcome to the Glow Up. We have been away for a long time. We had to take a little bit of a sabbatical due to everything that's going on in the news right now and the world and how crazy it is. So we're back. We're going to be filming more, putting more content up for you guys to get woke. So I'm going to pass you over.
You think this coon can wake anyone up? If I'm a coon, you must sell out. How about that? Sorry, I have no manners. I'm not. Hello. Good evening. Good morning. And if it's really early in the morning when you're watching this, you're feeling in your bed. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for supporting us. It's nice, I guess. Maybe I'm a bit too blasé, but I'm not doing this for people to like me. I wasn't raised like that either, you know. We were raised like, don't make anybody your idol. We did have a church upbringing. Some people might know. And we weren't allowed posters on the wall of like pop artists and things like that. So we weren't brought up to worship anyone. So maybe I sound a little bit, why are you on here then? Because
but you're not trying to be worshipped. It's just you're spreading light to situations.
Well, everyone has a purpose, don't they? Some people's purpose is to make people laugh. I think mine is to make people think. I do have a funny bone or two. I guess not. But anyway, I've always been this person. I've always thought quite deeply. So put it to good use. And obviously because we're in quarantine as well, it's like,
it gives you a lot of time to think. Like, I overthink as a person anyway.
Oh God, sorry about that.
Yeah, but now quarantine has just made it mad. Like you ponder on a lot of things, and then it can go like very far.
Very quickly. Very
quickly, because this, like, it's very heightened being in a confined space, which is your home, every day, day in, day out. You do feel a little bit haunted by your own thoughts, and whatever's being put out into the media can cause a lot of conflict within you, in your head, and it's turmoil, to be honest. I'm tired of this quarantine.
And big up to all the men, them, and women, people that we love that are in pain. This gives you kind of a little bit of a
perspective
what they're going through. They're strong. You have to have mental strength. So my heart goes out to someone I love very deeply, and I'm sure there's others of you that do, or you might be being fake.
Huh.
And it breaks my heart, but we move. So anyway, a little bit somber today because I'll tell you the truth, I've got feelings. I'm a person, it's a bit of an oxymoron because I don't give a shit, but I still have feelings. And I have feelings for the fact that, the government's always been shysty. We know this. But the way they just want to murk everybody off, I'm sad. I'm sad that we've done these quarantine conversations and we showed people where this was going. I'm sad that it's come to pass. I'm sad. I'm sad that people are still ignorant. That's saddening, what is expected. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, is the saying. I'm sad because I feel like people feel that they're far removed, especially here in the West. But this thing's coming for us too. You're in quarantine. Who thought somebody could tell you to sit in your yard and not leave?
Like one dog on a porch.
The water's hot. But anyway, we digress, kind of. Our talk today in the Glow Up is probably similar to the conversations that we've had in quarantine conversations.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more personal because, obviously, because of this whole race thing, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and so many other names, the situation is causing racial tension, enlightenment, I mean, you've seen children of a young generation. I don't know if you know who Gen Extra is. She's a white lady on Instagram, a bit like Jane Elliott of our day, and she feels like her purpose, and she's doing really well, is to expose and demolish white privilege. Right, she really is really good. She got TikTok as well, and she, in doing this, she's lost family. She gets death threats and things like that because she just won't tolerate people taking the piss out of black people, which is nice. I'm not saying, you know, if you're pro-black and you really hate white people, you'd be like, we don't need her to speak up for us, and but you can't hurt. And okay, stay with your hurt and pain and hate. Because at least it's one white person trying to wake the rest of them up. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones with the power at the moment. So, you know,
at least one person's making a difference. If there's a reaction to it, then obviously it's working.
Now she's doing really well, really well. I mean, she's making kids in their household stand up to their parents, and she said, like, if she had tried to do it at the same age, she would have got kicked to the ground. She would have got murked, you know. So she's saying they're brave. You know, you're seeing white kids show their parents their own ignorance. I'm not saying like you need the white man, but they have been our plight. They've been our plight. I mean, it might sound hard to hear, and that's another thing. Like, some white people are really having a bit of a breakdown. You know what I mean? If you you've always sat in the seat of privilege, and you've never had to look at yourself as a problem, because you've always been able to point the finger outwards and say, look at them little nig-nogs.
Or even the
packies. I used to get called a packy.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, all the day, every day.
The white people that don't actually say anything, or there's white people that are out there that don't realise racism is happening in front of their face. Because they just think it's normal.
They're used to it.
Yeah. And now they're having breakdowns because whatever their parents or friends have told them is just...
It's not even. It's not. It's not. Yeah. Not just that. School is a lie. School perpetuates the lie. I mean, I've been a teacher in a school. I mean, on my first day at this particular school in Hackney, I could see. I mean, I had a hard time at school anyway. I went through a lot of racism at school myself, so that's another thing we'll talk about later on. But you could heard it too. You sit in the staff room, and you know you have people that are
underlining.
They have underlying racism, or they're trying to be sophisticated with it, you know. But they have an issue whether it's some of it's class. Oh, his mum, you know that one. And mum's a drinker. Yeah, so no wonder he's like that. Have you not noticed he's got problems? You know that one. Oh, you know his mum's a bit rough. Blah 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 blah. You know, rough meaning she's from Jamaica or something like that. Yeah, and the kids, you know, as a child that it's one thing being a child that is of any colour, and you know that you're looked on a certain way because maybe your parent is not very rich. You get school dinners. Okay, I remember that. There was a phase where Mum made us have school dinners. She was a little bit hard up, although we come from a very good family, and that was embarrassing. So you get stigmatised because of your...
It was the opposite in my school. It was more, if you came with packed lunch, it was frowned upon, like, oh,
can't you afford school dinners?
Yeah,
I remember that stage.
The food is crisp here.
Yeah. No, when I got to my second to secondary school, it was there. Anyway, so put it this way, there are people who teach that only teach because they can. They don't care about the kids. They bring their prejudice and hate towards the children to school. And there was one boy that walked in the classroom. I think it was my first day. He had this really exquisite surname. I don't remember it right now. I wouldn't say it anyway because it wouldn't be fair. Can you hear that?
Yeah, some kids screaming.
He came in with his tucky self, dragging himself, and it was late. And he came in with the teaching assistant, and she was saying, "Hurry up, come on, you take it so long." And she's kind of pushing him. And so the rest of the class was listening to me. I don't know if I was reading or showing them something about music and notation, probably. I noticed the kind of like
approach.
Yeah, so I was just like, I said, leave him, it's okay, it's alright, it's cool, it's fine, he's late, but it's cool, I've only just started. So then I said, hello young man, good evening. And it was like me, I said, yes you, what is your name? So he told me, he started to smirk. And he's a yard boy, he's like a Jamaican youth. And I said, wow, your name's exquisite. And then the rest of the class started to laugh because he does have actually a very exquisite name. So I said, Mr. Such and Such, nice to meet you. I hope you enjoy the lesson and my name is great.
But that's the thing in schools. I feel like you're not really acknowledged when you're a black kid growing up.
Precisely.
It's always like, oh, Lord, another black one. Okay, go
How
and
do you
sit in the
say your name?
back.
Kotonkwe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when you finally acknowledged the child, you felt like...
And this is true because what happened, and I fell into teaching just because of my qualifications and my experience in music. I don't have a teacher's degree. So what happened was a lot of the children in general, because I taught year 1 to year 5, and you get that issue where teachers don't like the fact that you're doing really well. Because kids that didn't learn prior to me coming all of a sudden were progressing in all areas. Now there could be 2 reasons for that. One of the reasons could be because what I'm teaching is music.
It's stimulating, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing could be that I do acknowledge them for who they are, because children are very receptive. They know when you don't like them. You understand? And then this quarantine I'm seeing on Pop Vasquez, his page and Ira, they're calling out a lot of racists, like racists are openly being racist now. Like, this has opened up a can of worms.
Or the Karens.
I mean, these Karens are making you white people look
bad,
psychotic. You know, if that's a representation of a white woman, you lot need some serious therapy. I'm just say.
It's the fact that they target and then they want to act as though they're the victim when they get boxed or they get confronted with the truth. Like, you're in the wrong. You did this. You're attacking me.
But that is always been our experience when because what's very apparent to me is how oblivious white people are. People think, and that's another subject, because I've ever had a relationship with a white man, that I can't speak about being black anymore. That's another bag of rubbish. You become more aware of your blackness when you end up dating outside your race, because not only now do you have white people on your case, you've got your own people on your case. You become very aware, doubly aware. So that's a bag of crap. And furthermore, you don't get accepted into the white club. Well, you're one of us, no longer a Nog, you're one of us. That doesn't happen. So all this Coons stuff you like to do, we know there's people out there that get with a white woman or a white man and they become, I hate him. I love Sharon.
The voice is always changed.
Why do you always talk like that? I love a Karen. Don't chicken. Fucking can't stand the stuff. This finger spins. Yeah, Karen. Yeah. We know that there's black people like that, but it doesn't mean all of us are like that, because nobody can stop me from being this person, this black woman that I am. This woman that I am, no black person, no white person, no Chinese person, Pakistani, I am this woman.
Furthermore, who are you to tell me who I can and can't date?
Because people have this attitude that for you to date outside your race, you hate yourself. And we get the concept, because what you've got to remember when you're saying these things, you say something like that to me, I'm brought up with that way of thinking.
Yeah.
You're not attacking me. I don't feel attacked and ashamed because I've heard it. I probably said it myself. You understand what I'm saying? So remember that when it's like today you were black, this happened to me. So like by the time I had a relationship with a white man, I was nearly 30. Prior to that, everything about me was black.
You're still pro-black.
Still, I had a little, just one little thing. Anyway, but majority, 99.9% of my experiences with black men, you know, and I've got this attitude where, how can I, if I hate myself, that just doesn't make sense, because I am a black woman and a black man combined. That's why I'm here. And also, I remember saying to, like, even family members that have that attitude that they've arrived because they were the white man, that you do not hear white people, it's very rare that you find a white person in a relationship with a black person and they say stuff like, I hate white women. I hate white men.
It's only now, I think in my generation, you hear that a lot more often. Like, I don't know whether it's because of a trend or what, but there'll be girls my age and younger who will say, there'll be white girls, they'll say, oh, I've got a black boyfriend now. White guys are dud, they're disgusting, they're so wet, they're just weak and flimsy and all of that. And it's just like, but you're a white girl, your mum's white, your dad's white. You don't find them attractive. You don't find yourself attractive. I just don't understand like how you can come with that mindset. I'm not gonna date a white person and all of a sudden say, oh, my mum, my dad are ugly.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm ugly.
And also, you're not a different species.
Exactly.
When I hear people talk like that, I'm like, your mum should have squeeze our legs together. And anyway, and he was coming out as my mother.
Stop it.
Hey! But you know, I get it because we're brought up in it. The thing is, here's my experience in a nutshell. See if I can say it quickly. Firstly, I am the product of a Rasta man and a Christian woman or young lady at that time.
Preacher's daughter.
Yeah.
Deacon. No, not deacon. Bishop.
My mum.
There you go.
And then secondly, I went to a black school initially, and then my mum said I was getting too nigger. Yeah. Shall we explain that for people that are not Caribbean?
Nigger.
What does it mean?
Nigger means you're getting a bit too ghetto, a little bit rough. You need to have a little bit of etiquette.
Etiquette.
Yes.
Thank you, that was good.
There you go.
Okay, so I got sent to a school in Sutton Coldfield, Streetley. Take a deep breath. I am over it.
Dead that off right now.
I am over it. Am I over it? Maybe I'm not. And I understand the concept. Like, I was a bright girl, and my mum wanted me to go to a really good school, and she fought with MPs to get me into the school. So from the get-go, when people say there isn't white privilege, why does your mother have to fight to get you into a good school? So
it's when people say like, oh, black people, they just feel too, like, they feel too much of themselves, like, you have the same opportunities as us and you can do the same things as us, but really we have more obstacles in the way.
More obstacles.
And even if we do get to the same place that you do, it's probably taken twice the amount of time. 3 times. We've had to work hard.
And then you same people with this attitude are the ones causing the problems, right? And
then you want to put anything in the way so that we don't progress further than you, because as a white person, white people are seen as smarter than black people, which is nonsense.
So isn't it like one of the kids with the IQ is from Brum and he's black? Yeah, look that up. So anyway, starting a race thing, but you lot are making it this way.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So honestly, my experience at this school, and maybe friends from that school are watching, and if you're honest, you know what it was like for me. I would spot the blackie. Now, honestly, when I got there was a girl in the final year at school. She was a cute, pretty girl. But I did get a bit of like sit on the sideline vibes. And I've got a little pixie haircut, so I kind of fit in type of thing. And then there was Mr. Richards. I won't say your first name. And we had a settler after school. I saw him one day, like, school done out. saw him like a year later, and he saw me, and I'd shaved off my hair because I used to wear my hair long. And he was like, "Is that you, Naomi? Oh my God." And hugged me, goes, "Can I hug you, please? I know I was awful at school. Can I hug you?" And I said, "Okay then." And we squashed the beef. And Paul,
I don't remember you telling me this.
I did, I told you. We squashed it, and it basically said, "I'm sorry, I didn't stand up for you at school. I just felt
the teacher?
No,
Oh,
he was
okay.
I haven't finished.
Oh, right.
He was a black boy at school, and he was bleak. Mr. Richards, you are bleak. Nothing wrong with that. I love bleakness. You know,
okay,
I love bleakness. And I thought there would be some solidarity because he was black, and he always threw me under the bus. I mean, I might be a slim girl, slimmer than I was at this present moment in time, and he was a big guy. I don't know your heritage, but I'd say African. But he never stuck up for me. He didn't protect me and that type of stuff. And we had a big fight on the bus one day. We were always warring because like you little coon. Little bounty, that was the word back then. You could bounty, we were rolling on the bus, punching each other. I hate you, fucking dickhead. But I had, sorry I swore. Sorry, I'm trying to get back. But anyway, so I had people say like they're gonna lynch me and stuff like that. It was constant. The teacher, I remember being in a history lesson with we'll call her Miss Hager. I've changed the letter of the beginning of the name. And she just thought she was so slick. So we had this history lesson about slavery, and there was a part where some slave had a song that they sang, but it was in patois. She said, we'll get Naomi to do it. I said, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Because to be honest, I was Millie. Even though I went to this really white school and it was Spot the Black, I was Malcolm X, NWA at school. I did not care. Anyone that knows me, honestly, I had to fight every day at school. So she got Mr. Guildford. Well, I'll do it, Miss, he says. I mean, they just totally, what's the word? They just don't see how damaging, offensive and racist and damaging it is to me, and everyone's laughing. And this is every lesson, every day, all the time. And the teacher is joining in. In fact, she's instigating it, and then he starts doing that accent. Yeah, man, no. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm gonna pick up this table and throw it, you know. And then when my sister joined a couple of years later, the first day she came, it was like they were all on this racial. I've seen a little black girl. That's your sister, and it's just always something. And then one day something happened, and I had listened every year in the main teaching block all at me. I was like, no, honestly, I was a force to be right. I didn't care. I would take out like, come on then. And I cussed out all my friends because they didn't stick up for me. There was another black girl who was related to someone from church, and she was telling me I shouldn't say things against all the white people to defend myself. She got blazed. I said, you think because you got that wig on your head, that's a bob, that these people like you, and suddenly you're not black because you speak like that? I said, fuck off. She got ran. Then the teacher pinned me up against the wall and called me a little nigger and I'd never get anywhere. No one tried to help me, and there was things after things after things. I remember going to school one day with my sister, and we had to travel 2 buses, and we had to go across a dual carriageway, which was the entrance to school. So I got past the first part, then you got the middle grass. Started to cross the second part, and there was a man's house right next to school because it's by houses. And he was putting something up or cleaning his window or something. And he said to his dog, fetch, in a nice soft voice. And as I got in the middle of the road, this dog was mauling me, and the cars were going and driving round me. And you know, I don't know. I didn't even think anything. I just thought, shit. And this dog was like, and you know what? Beeping, cars were beeping. And I looked because I could see him. And he went, "Here, boy." And the dog just got off me and ran back. And I brushed myself off with my sister, got up, and I was just like, okay, I've got to get to school. And so you internalise all of this shit. Because if I go in school and say a dog just tried to... I mean, the guy had to walk past the guy to get through the driveway. And he just smiled. He thought it was... He's not like he said, "I'm sorry," or "You're right." No, he sent the dog for me. So when people look at me and see me with a white guy and think that I'm a coon, to me, I just think, okay.
Laughable.
You don't know where I'm coming from. If you see a woman like me with a white guy, then that white guy must be something for me to be with him. And then I met this white guy who destroyed all of my stereotypes and the hatred I had generally for white people, because I did have a Greek friend and Turkish friends that actually took me in when I ran away from home. They were my eye dreams. And black people class everybody that's got white skin as white. So I'm just saying, generally, that was my experience. So when I met him all these years along the line, it didn't mean I didn't have conversations or get on with white people, but generally, my experience was, I can't trust you, you're evil people, you're always on some bullshit, and it actually affected my education. I sat in exams like that. I wrote my name and I dashed the pen down, because it was just too much. And this guy came and it was, "Box me, what? You're raised with a black dad. You're raised in Jamaica. Your mum was born in Gambia, and raised
Uganda.
in Uganda, and raised in Nigeria and lives in Jamaica." And I was just like, your friends, your cousins, I'm not saying he doesn't have a white side, because he does as well, but it's just like, what? So,
and all of his friends are black.
I'm very black at that. So, and then he's got a big blue-eyed, and then a big nigger beard. Everyone always says, "Why is your beard so thick?"
And then when he slaps on the pathway, it's like...
And he was he had to take us to Jamaica. I'd never been, you understand? So, I'm not saying it come with other issues, but generally, I was not a novelty to him. So when people have these fixed ideas of what a mixed relationship is, or that you have to deny yourself to be in a mixed relationship, it's not true. It might be for some, but it's not that way for everyone, you know? And I didn't choose him because his skin was white. I didn't think, "Oh, a white boy." No, we just clicked here. And this is where I'm coming from. At the end of the day, this has been the bane of my life. I remember being at a certain age where I did hate myself. I hated myself in secondary school because I thought,
same.
If I could scrub this skin, I'm getting in a very, very hot bath and trying to burn my skin off. I remember telling my stepdad I wanted to kill myself, and him really crying. And him going down to school and being furious that me and my sister were sent home in the middle of the day when my parents were at work, because some of year 11 said they were going to lynch us, and they didn't call any of my parents. They protected their students and sent us home. That was their way of dealing with it. So my dad come down to school and just put a whole bloody foot in the head teacher's backside.
That's what I used to hate about secondary school. Like, it was the fact that it was always... Like, you would think that your own black people would support you and be like, "Oh, you like, nah, you can't be saying this or that." But it was mainly like them that would make comments. I remember this one person in my class. It was always he was always coming at me and like digging comments about my skin tone, and I'd be like, "But hold on a second, you're darker than me, and I don't want to like bring it into." Make it about tones or be disrespectful or dog you and say you're this and that, but you're coming at me about my skin tone, so it doesn't make any sense. First of all, what you're saying, and then you're saying that you don't like white people, or nah, white people are this, they're that, always having these derogatory terms and all of that. but then you hitch up underneath the mixed race girl. You're putting her on a pedestal. Then you're dogging the black girls and saying they're ugly, but you're darker than me, so how does that work?
Because it's cognitive dissonance.
And then now, left school, done modelling, whatever, you come to me and said, you look good, you know, like you're doing your thing, claps to you. And then you put on your social media that you're only going for dark-skinned girls. I'm sorry, but I'm mind-boggled.
Emotionally dysregulation. Emotional dysregulation, number one, that's with white people, I'm just going to say it as it is. Narcissism in general, and cognitive dissonance. It's having two conflicting ideas of the same thing.
And then you would back the white teachers, or there was one in particular I couldn't stand. And ironically, she used to teach history. And she would always she'd give us this lesson, and she'd make us decide if we wanted to do the Holocaust or slavery. And to be honest,
oh my God.
There's
so many levels to this Jewish the issues we have with the Jews and slavery. Oh God, you need to go study, man. It's deep.
And it was always the case.
They know what they're doing.
If we picked the Holocaust, then she would always try and make it seem as though it was worse than slavery. And then if we pick slavery, she'll do this thing where she'll pick me at the back and say, oh, can you say this and that? Da, 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 da. First of all, I already had this thick Birmingham Brummie accent. And then she'd take the mic.
Because you were in London. You were raised in London.
Raised in London, went to a London school. So she had this agenda of taking the mick out of me, or making me the bottom of every joke. Or I'll come into school, or come into a class.
Oh, her!
Yes, I'll come into a class and she'd be
she was racist.
Oh, why is your hair like that? It's always different every day. Can I touch you? I'll be like, no. And then there'll be this one mixed race girl, and she'll come in and her hair's all long and flowy, you know who you are. And then she'll be flicking hair, and then the teacher will come over to her. It's so amazing. I like how soft it is. And then one day she caught me off guard. I didn't even know it was her that was doing it. I thought it was my friend initially. She came behind me and grabbed my hair. She's like, oh, it's softer than I expected. I was like, oh, can I just rock this teacher real quick?
And it goes back to the same thing we were saying, which might be in our other video, which is, if you're mixed half with black, then you're exotic.
Yeah.
But if you're black with the same hair, you're ugly. You don't want to acknowledge that you've got that hair because it comes from being half black. So when people are saying that these issues don't exist, that is a prime example of cognitive dissonance. But that black hair on a light-skinned or mixed-race person is attractive, but on a black person it's ugly.
Yeah, and in school it used to be, oh, you've got mixed-race hair, they'll say that. You've got mixed-race hair, or it'll be, oh, you don't understand racism or whatever because you've got Indian or something in you, or, you look different.
It's nonsense. The thing is, right.
But then on the other side, it's, oh, you're hella dark. You can't have all these things in you.
Cognitive dissonance.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Colonialism has affected so much of our thinking, but we're in 2020, and in fact we're in the 21st century, so there's no excuse for this shit. All of this blaming the white man for where you're at. First of all, if you know your history, the Arabs came way before them and violated you. Before the Arabs, there was us, and nobody could come into Africa and just be like, yeah, I'm taking your people. Us strong, spiritually, physically, wasn't happening. Go and study your history. Somebody sold us out. There's always some bad eggs. There's always bad eggs, and in fact, in the end, it brought us to our knees, because even members of our royal family of royalty were also sold into slavery. So when I hear this okay, black only thing, I think, yeah, go there. Because every time we try to raise our level, it's there in history. Tulsa, Redwood, Haile Selassie, he was seen as an equal to white men, like wherever you wanna take that. I've put that video on my page. If you don't know about Haile Selassie, the Rastas, you know, hold him in high esteem. But regardless whether you're a Rasta or not, he was of royal lineage, and he was your British Queen bowed to him. There's a picture on my Instagram. Go and look at him. She and her husband bowed to him because he was of royal lineage. So I get it. At the end of the day, history is shown over and over again that they come where we are and break our shit to pieces. It's just what it's just what you do.
The Black Wall Street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tulsa.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I get it. I'm not against it. Like, oh, she wants to come by her with a white man. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, at the end of the day, nobody just came into our team, which was already black only, before anyone came and just come in and take over. Some of us in the scenario must have been like, yeah. And if you know your history, you know full well that in the village, if you had thieves or people that weren't standing by the law of the land, that what you did was you set them aside from the rest of the camp for, like, you chopped off their fingers or you made them a slave. And then when merchants started to come in, you sold them on, yeah, take them.
Yeah.
So that was our first mistake. I'm just like this, at the end of the day, yeah, all of these things are relevant that's going on now. But when we were in the position of power, what was it that we did that got us to this place? And I'm going to be straight with you. I believe we were hateful. There is something to do with being hateful and being greedy, and we're supposed to be the watchers, and we're supposed to be a light of the world. And I feel that there's egotistic, there's egoism going on as well. Maybe we became too lofty, so then we started to disrespect our own brothers and sisters. Not agree.
No, I do.
Because, come on, all right, forget about back then. Think about now. All right, we're trying to fix the thing. You're explaining, you're a black sister, and we should hold you as gold. I've put something on my page recently to show you what melanin actually is. And it's deep. It protects you from radiation. Your cells regenerate. If you have melanin and loads of it, yo, da-da, oh. Are we respecting each other? No, we're saying, and then what we are doing is we're going, like I had someone say to me, a family member, when she was still a baby, yeah, your daughter's really black, she's really black, so that makes her really special, and basically being derogatory to me. So I said, hang on, let me get this straight. So I'm now supposed to feel lesser than the child that I created. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to feel less black and inferior to the child which I created.
There's a lot of colorism in the black community.
Stupidism.
It's ridiculous.
Is that a word? Stupidism. It should be a word.
Stupidity.
Oh my gosh. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like we're so fixated on this that we forgot that this is running the show. Is this not running the show? Is this not running the show? So that's
what I'm saying. You can be pro-black and like people outside of your race and be open-minded. It's just
because it's not about them because their skin. It's not about the skin. It's about this is what I mean. I'm a sexual. Was a sapiosexual, something like that. I'm attracted to the mind. I'm attracted to the mind. I'm not saying I'm not attracted to physical beauty, because I am.
That is part of it.
But here, oh my gosh.
But this is the thing, you can meet attractive guys and be like, oh, he's stunning. speak to them and they got no sense, or they're just not. It's not there.
And furthermore, you can meet people who are your kin, and they're coming off with all of this nonsense. You're too light, or you're too dark, or your hair's too loose and it's not nappy enough, and it's just like, are you
alright?
Are you alright? And so for me,
there's white guys that, for example,
yes,
are fully woke or really on the black
and they don't
team.
want you to straighten your hair.
It's not about a fetish type of flex. It's more like they're connected with their soul and what is the struggles of being a black woman. They may not know in depth, but they can understand, and they want to be part of the relationship with you. Maybe like they want to learn.
Here's the thing, all right. We know that there's another aspect to this where they say, right, we have a soul. That's why we hear music differently.
Well, that was kind of what
we hear music differently, we feel it differently. How comes they dance like that? Why is that? Then we can get into a whole other subject where they say, well, the DNA was spliced, they came from somewhere else. We can have this conversation. We get it, and there's some people that don't believe that. But ask yourself practical questions. Why the heck do we, on a simple level, we hear music differently? Why do you hear the beat? Why do you feel the earth? Like, come on, let's be honest. I'm not going to be fake.
There's always anomalies. We can't say that like every black person is the same. We all can dance, because
that's not true. I saw someone today. Even he said he was stiff. I was like, what's going on? Where are you, what beat are you? Are you even black? You understand what I'm saying? And then we start talking about microchemistry, and we start speaking about DNA and all the stuff that they told you about your blood. If you've got this blood, it means you're from this race. That's all Walter Plecker. A lot of this stuff is not true. And then if we're going to speak about that, then we have to speak about the fact that black people can have white children, not albinos, white children. Just type it in the bloody internet.
This conversation is boring. Like, it's been happening for centuries. Like, why can't you just get to a state of, oh, you're a loving person, or you have this mindset, we connect, bam, that's it, it's done. We don't need to go into, oh, you have dark skin, you have light skin, or you look a certain way, your nose is big. Just get off.
You smell like,
get off it, man.
You smell like wet dog. You smell like beef and curry.
Stop.
Yeah, let's just be honest. You know.
Just come on, man.
We can get deep on this thing. The main thing is this, right? I'm not saying anybody has to do anything I'm saying, why don't you just educate yourself? Because the problem here is that we are educated and we're inundated with information from the womb. Remember, you take on the thoughts, you know, of your carrier. So maybe kids can be born bloody racist, because I've been out and seen some kids eyeball me and they can't be more than 5 months. Like they want to get out and shoot me, and I'm like, raw.
In the pushchair.
In the pushchair, real eyeballing me like, raw, okay.
Watch when your mum looks away.
Innit? Anyway. Well, I'm just saying, there's so many. It's 2020. Do you know how much information is out here? Why do you need to be ignorant anymore?
By the time my youths come along, I don't want to be hearing. I don't even want to chat about this anymore. It's so played out. Like, it's just boring. You can't come with something else.
The thing is this, like, I mean, I hear people having this conversation, like, black people need to do this and white people need to do that, and the Indian man and the Chinese man. But I've been hearing this from the time I had ears to hear. I saw somebody make a comment today, as I said to you, and she said, like, I've been hearing these talks since I was what age, and now I'm 62 and nothing's changed. And new people are coming up, you know, like, I'm the new voice of the you know, century, the decade. But you're saying things that Malcolm X said a long time ago, and he's mixed, and that Bob Marley said time ago, and he's mixed, and none of you have made the impact on the world like either of those two, even till this day, and they've gone and passed. So, what are you saying? What makes you think the same chat that you're bringing is any different? I don't think you're going deep enough. It's your mind that's the issue.
And you know why it's not progressing and we're still having the same conversations? Because people are ignorant. They don't want to change. Gosh. People are just lame, man. Like, you could be tasting all types of spices and having, you know, great relationships with people and becoming connected and spiritual, and you just want to ruin it because, oh, you look different to me, don't like you. What is that really about?
I mean, we could say, like, you know, from a certain perspective, you know, I just wonder if we generalise, because you can generalise. We say white people are like this, black people are like that, Chinese people are like this, Indian people are like that. And you can generalise, but I wonder if generalising is perpetuating lies.
Exactly.
What if we just abandoned all the generalisation and said, listen, I'm not dealing with fuckery. Listen, everyone that's here, we don't do the fuckery thing. These are the facts, boom. Oh my God. Because I am seeing different types of reactions to the situation. Because it has been a white and a black thing predominantly. And I'm seeing white people say things like, oh my gosh, they learned something about history. Like, they didn't know that black women were breastfeeding the slave master's babies. And the slave master was telling them, you know, my child can only suck your left breast. And if I find out he sucked your right breast that the black baby's been on, I'll whip you to pieces. So, you know, even in that situation, we're having the life sucked out of us and we're having our bodies controlled by the white man. And white women don't know this, didn't know this, and it's so personal, it's so deep. And this woman, she's actually breastfeeding right now, and she's white, and she said it took her out. She said, my whole life's been a lie. School lied to me, my parents lied to me, and I'm telling you, this whole quarantine has changed my perspective, and I will be telling my children the truth. She said, and then, you know, she said, I feel ashamed. And I'm seeing people say they feel ashamed. Because they've been denying the truth. You just think that we're moaning, the black people are moaning. Again. Because they're not...
This happened 200 years ago.
Can you go over it? We're not realising that there are still laws in place. There's still teachers in positions of authority. There's still the government and people in the government with positions of authority. There's still, I mean, from our first quarantine conversations, the guys in government, white people telling you that it's written into American legislations to depopulate Africa at any cost, kill them. It's a law, you know. And so I'm seeing white people have come to realizations or having temper tantrums, being absolutely crazy, not telling people like. My man that wrote I Wish a Karen Would on the t-shirt, where the woman was in the shop with the Mexican woman and her man, and she was just harassing the woman and telling her to come out the shop because she's Mexican and go back to your own land. And she said, your ancestors are not from America. And even that is like, you know, white people are not aware.
Where do you come from?
They're exactly not even aware that they're not from America.
They're European.
You're European. Who do you think you Christopher Columbus you were learning about in the lessons is? Like, this shows you the cognitive dissonance, the emotional dysregulation, and the just deluded. Like, you really though, you just under some, you know what it is, the superiority complex really took over your head. You were totally, like, you had all the facts in front of you, and believed that you were still superior, and you did nothing wrong, and nothing was going on.
Just being compulsive liars. You're telling yourself a lie and then believing it.
And now we're tearing down all these statues and people are upset and complaining. Last week or a couple of days ago, I'm seeing people, death threats to Sean King and moaning about the statues and telling people like, the Bible hasn't been changed and black people are just... So I had to put a video on my page and show them white men in Washington Museum with the slave Bible telling you that we did change the Bible so that we could abuse black people. Like, come on, man. You know what? I've spent my whole life going through this shit. And I wonder if I could ever wake up one day and not have to think, what kind of shit do I have to deal with today because I'm black?
It's like even going to the shop with my hair like this. I had cars like going past me going like this. I'm thinking, concentrate on the road. It's just hair. What's the issue?
It's a lion's mane.
Look at, and I'm pointing with your kid. I'm not a monkey.
7 million years we've been
Bloody
here.
attraction, like.
And you had us in zoos as well, that's a fact. And then you say that, you know, you don't ostracise us, but you don't put a person and a human being in a zoo if you see them as a human being, do you? It's here.
You don't continuously poke the bear and not expect a reaction.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is one thing. This is one thing. But this is a whole nother. And
the contents of your heart.
Right, and as far as I'm concerned, unless you fix in here, this is going to continue. You can all group as one if you want to. And I get it. I get why it's important, because every time we have something called, we try and integrate, look.
No, that's fair enough.
Look, we don't get anywhere. I get that. But understand that there are people out here that don't subscribe to the bullshit, and they're not black. And then there are people that say they're pro-black, but they disrespect their own people.
Exactly.
They don't know themselves. They don't know even the things that I know as a coon. So, and then what if you're black but your skin is white? Then where do you stand then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, they're black then because... well, then it's not about skin then, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you started out black and then your skin turns white because you got vitiligo, then what? You can't trust him because the skin's white and...
It's played out, man.
I'm just saying... I'm sick of everybody. That's it, really. That's the long and short. I don't need anybody. I have never needed validation from anyone. If you're white, you can't tell me who the fuck I am. If you're black, you can't tell me who the fuck I am. If you're Chinese, you can't tell me who the fuck I am. If you're Pakistani, Indian, I don't care what you are. You do not tell me who the fuck I is. Okay. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Please comment and subscribe if you want to.
And share.
Tell your friends. Maybe we waffled on a bit. I don't know. It's just boring.
Conversation needs to be had, but it needs to be...
I don't know. We said it from the first quarantine conversation before any of this shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Go back and check it out. We said what this was going to be. And at this present moment in time, I know people don't believe in the creator and all of that. And, you know, we're like, no one's coming to save you and all of that. But I wish God would bust through the clouds and sort this mess out. Because I can't see this ever being fixed. Can you? I can't see it. And that sounds really negative. And yes, it does. But...